Sure. Hey, Selena, sorry, but I think you're muted.
I'm sorry, guys. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another live AMA with Cointelegraph. I am your host, Aline, video producer here at Cointelegraph, and I'm really excited to kick off the week with a very interesting topic. So, before we dive in, quick question for everyone watching. Does everyone know where Bitcoin mining is the cheapest in 2025? Well, the top three countries might actually surprise you, but we're talking about Iran, Sudan, and Ethiopia. And that's exactly where we're going to focus over the next half hour. Since the electricity there is super cheap, Ethiopia has become a real hotspot for mining companies. Right now, it costs around 2,000 USD to mine one Bitcoin there, and that's nearly 50 times cheaper than mining in the US. Kind of insane. And if you're wondering about the weather, well, I haven't been there myself, but Ethiopia got that covered too. The islands stay cool and dry most of the year, which is kind of perfect for mining machines running efficiently. So if you're curious about how mining works in Ethiopia and what the global mining scene looks like in 2025, you are in the right place, and we've got a lot to dive in today. Now, let me introduce you our special guest for today's AMA. Please welcome Philip from Uminers. Philip, great to have you here. How's it going?
I'm doing great, Selena. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. Before we get any further, I just like to remind our listeners to like our discussions and share it on your feed and with your friends. And if you have any question on the topic, we will cover today, but don't hesitate to send them in the comments below, and I will try my best to answer them at the end of the live show. Now, before we get to the first question, Philip, we have prepared a short video to tell our viewers more about you miners. And yeah, let's take a look now.
Sounds good.
All right, Philip. So Uminers has expanded into several regions globally, and the last year you guys moved into Africa with a focus on Ethiopia. Like I mentioned earlier, Ethiopia is now one of the top places for Bitcoin mining, second cheapest, in fact, and it makes a lot of sense that you will be there. So let's start with the basic. Can you tell us a bit more about why electricity is so cheap there, and what's going on with Ethiopia energy situation?
Sure. So, I guess the main reason it's so cheap there, Ethiopia has a massive surplus of hydroelectric power, and they have this massive dam as well that they built and invested in the last couple of years near the capital. Yeah, just a huge surplus of energy. So it just makes mining really, really cheap and energy really, really cheap.
Mhm. And like so you said like electricity is quite cheap and it sounds great, but there must be like some challenges to manage it. Maybe like you have some power grids problem that could be unstable. Have you experienced any of that or like run into any challenges using that cheap energy?
For now, we haven't. Back in the day, Ethiopia had many power grid issues.
Mhm.
Now we can guarantee an uptime of more than 99% in terms of the power availability for the data center.
Okay.
The area that we're in is the ICT Tech Park, and this park gets priority when it comes to electricity.
Mhm. And aside from the electricity, what was it about Ethiopia that really made you guys stand out for you as a mining destination? Was there something else about the country that played a role in the decision?
Primarily, it was the cost, but also the proximity to our base in Abu Dhabi. So our new headquarters that we're building. I would say that would probably be the second reason, but primarily cost related.
Okay. And now, if we look at the bigger picture, Ethiopia hasn't been exactly really crypto friendly until recently. The national bank still bans crypto payment, and the birr is the only legal currency. But in 2024, the government signed a pretty major deals with 21 mining companies, including Uminers. What do you think? Is that a sign they're opening up to the idea of more foreign investment and push for some bigger economic reforms?
I think so. Uh, I think it'll be a time until they become more and more crypto friendly in terms of payments. So payments are prohibited in crypto in Ethiopia, but they're really opening up the mining sector more so. Reason behind this is they have low USD supply, so their strategy includes bringing in these miners and data centers who have big costs in terms of electricity and other costs as well. Uh, and they set the prices in USD, so they get this USD surplus, which they can do trading with other countries around the world. So somewhere in between with the regulations, and I think it's going to become more and more open as time goes on.
Okay. And like, do you personally think that, like you will have more support from the governments, since that deal, or like, are they giving any clear signals that they want to foster crypto developments?
We believe so. And we've actually had government officials come to see our data centers, or the data center, where we've discussed our plans and our future mission within Ethiopia.
Okay, that's great. And like considering all of this, like the low cost electricity, the recent government moves, and the growing interest in Ethiopia as a mining hub, how do you see the country fitting into the larger African scene? Like, do you think it has the potential to be a major player in the region, especially as other countries in Africa are still looking at crypto more seriously?
I believe so. Ethiopia's population is one of the fastest growing in the world. I believe it might be even in the top five, if not top 10. Uh, it's the second biggest population in Africa after Nigeria, I believe, as well. So as long as it slowly dips its toes in how it is now, and a potential expansion into the space is definitely possible. So I think its role in the whole Africa crypto map will play a big part in the future for sure.
Great. I'm looking forward to that. And like I want to take a moment to talk about something that's often a big topic in the mining world. Ethical mining. It can be a sensitive issue, especially in countries that are still developing. As mining in Ethiopia grows, a lot of companies are tapping into local innovations and technologies. So I'm curious, how does you miners approach this? Are you looking at ways to bring electricity to underserved areas or supporting local communities in other ways? What kind of impact are you aiming to make?
Yes, so we'll be hiring a massive amount of employees in the region, and as our expansion continues, we'll be hiring more Ethiopian nationals. On top of that, in order to hire these specialists that we'll need, we'll be investing and creating university courses within local universities in Ethiopia. This will expand the talent in that area and support job growth and future avenues for people.
Okay, that's fantastic. And that brings me to another important point. So, Uminers has a mission to make mining easier, right? And in a lot of ways, it really is easier now than it was 10 years ago. There's more user friendly software, mining rigs that perform better and use less power, and tools just to track profitability. But despite all these advances, the challenges are still here, right? You have higher upfront costs that make it tough for smaller miners to get in, and the Bitcoin network keeps getting more competitive. So, given all of that, I am curious, how does Uminers actually make mining simpler and more accessible, especially like in emerging markets? Are there any solutions you're offering that help lower the entry barriers for new miners?
Well, one thing, back in the day when Bitcoin mining really just started, anybody could put up a computer and begin mining really any type of machine. As time went on, you needed a more and more powerful device, and eventually, when ASIC miners came out, you needed this special ASIC miner in order to be a part of the mining game. Now, on average, a miner costs anywhere from 3,000 to 10,000 plus dollars. So it's not really for the average person. We would say right now. As time goes on, I think head in that direction more so, and it'll eventually become more government focused, where big governments and big corporations will do the mining. Uh, and this is really our primary target. So targeting the big corporations by making their lives simpler when it comes to mining. So when it comes to sourcing machines, when it comes to the whole turnkey solution, hosting them, the logistics of the machines, that's what we're really focused on. And when we say we make mining simpler, we make it simpler by having this one-stop shop for all these different solutions that we offer.
Okay. And maybe while we're on this topic, I've heard about your BTC collateralized loan programs. Could you tell us more about how this works and like what inspired you to launch them?
Yes. So the zero interest loan BT collateralized program that we have, that system works through Ledger Enterprise. And the way this will work is pretty much any one of our clients will be able to go through a approval process. Once they go through the approval process, if everything's okay, we will be able to hold. They'll be able to deposit Bitcoin on a Ledger Enterprise account. That Bitcoin is held as collateral, which funds the purchase of the machines. So we give them machines in return, but the machines are held in our data centers as additional collateral. That client will then be able to pay monthly a month term. It would be 10% every month. And once they pay that amount off, they get 10% of their Bitcoin back. This system allows our clients to not sell their Bitcoin and gain the upside potential of the Bitcoin as it grows. This system will help all our clients, but it also specifically does help the smaller corporations that are getting into mining just now.
Okay. And is this program like accessible to anyone? Like, is there any particular conditions to get access to that?
It'll be available to everyone. We will just have to see what our relationship is with the person. Depending on the relationship, we would be choosing different data centers. So there's just a little bit of an approval process. But in general, it's available to all our clients
And will that loan be available like globally, or like it will be limited to certain regions?
globally.
Globally. Okay, cool. Um, I think it's quite interesting that you mentioned this partnership with Ledger. And I know like it played a huge role in helping your company to scale securely. So I want to talk more about this topic, security. Could you tell us a bit more about how this partnership works and what it brings to both you miners and Ledger?
For sure. So Ledger Enterprise is a enterprise grade solution when it comes to storage of digital assets. This system enables very complex workflows where you can even work with multiple signers, so multi-sig functions, and API functions for complex applications. This system we've now implemented into the Uminers workflow, and specifically we're using it for the loan system to make it more secure for our clients, where they have that peace of mind, don't have to worry about where their Bitcoin is and how it's being stored. So it isn't just on like one device that one of our employees is holding. It's on a full enterprise grade solution.
Okay. And are you like, guys thinking of expanding this partnership or to collaborate on new services in the future? Is this something that you have in mind?
There are some things in mind. I'm leading most of these developments when it comes to the Ledger partnership. Uh, Many of the things I can't say just yet, but there are some things in the work.
Okay, great. Are we gonna know more about this at the end of the year or maybe next year?
Soon, probably next couple months. Uh,
Okay,
Many interesting things coming, for sure.
cool. Exciting. All right, now that we have covered some key areas like security and the partnerships you have built, let's talk about how someone can actually get started with U miners. So if you're someone looking to start mining with U miners, what's like the first step they should take? And once they have joined, what can they expect from the full experience? Since U miners offer an all-in-one solution, what's the process like from start to finish? Can you walk us through that?
Yes, to get started with our company, the best way would be to reach out through one of our channels. either through the WhatsApp, Telegram. Telegram is preferable, or email, just sales@uminers.com. Uh, you can also reach me directly too, which I believe it is Philip at Filip Arambasic, or at partnerships@uminers.com. So the first one was Telegram. Partnerships@uminers.com is my email. Uh, and sorry, what was the second question?
Yeah, I mean, what if, like, let's say, like, I want to start mining with you miners. What can I expect from the full experience? Because you mentioned, I think, that there's like a all-in-one solution. I just want to know,
Yes.
like, the full process. Yeah.
So if the average person, or someone that hasn't had an experience with mining, I don't know, have you done mining in any aspect before?
No. So can you walk me through?
So I would say stay away from it for the most part. It is extremely expensive for the average person, and it is extremely complex. Mining has reached that point where it's really only for corporations and investors focused on it. We are trying to implement a system of cloud mining, and that's coming in the next few months. This system will be more for the average person, but even then, it takes a really big understanding on how mining works and how the whole system works in order for somebody to invest into it. Uh, yeah, that'll be my response. In terms of corporations and that sort of thing, we have many solutions for corporations on how to make it easier, and the system that we work with them for.
Okay, and just like in case some corporation or even like governments are watching this, like can you like briefly like explain the process, how that does work?
Yes. So you would get in touch with us through one of our channels. One of our sales representatives would get in touch with you after. A messaging will go back and forth, so we understand what you're looking for exactly. And once we understand, we would prepare the order, prepare the quote, and once we provide you the quote, if you agree with things, you would send us the payment in either bank transfer or crypto. And once that is set, the miners will begin either production if they haven't been produced yet, if it's one of the newer miners being released by Bitmain. There is a purchase schedule for that. Or if we have it already in stock, where it's one of the miners already released by Bitmain, we would provide those miners and ship them. So we would deal with the logistics aspect of wherever you want them to go, add that to the quote, and continue on. You can after choose if you want the machines hosted with us, or if you're doing your own hosting, we can ship it to wherever your data center is. Yeah,
Okay. Okay, sounds like a very well organized process. So I know,
for sure.
Philip, you're currently in Abu Dhabi. You're heading to Dubai just right after this live. So we're not gonna hold you
Yeah.
for too long. But I know like there's this big event coming up this week, Token 2049 in Dubai. That's a major one. So I wanted to ask, are there like any other events coming up where our viewers could meet you, hear you, or like just speak to you if they want to get involved with you miners?
Yeah, so Token 2049 will be walking around the event. So most of our team will be there.
Hmm.
In Las Vegas, so Bitcoin Las Vegas, we're going to have a booth there, and we're going to be there as well. So that is, I believe, around end of May, sometime end of May. So yeah, anybody can meet us there and discuss things more there. Usually, we do a couple events in Dubai every year, and a couple events in America too. Singapore, we're attending more frequently as well. So Token 2049 in Singapore, and Hong Kong as well.
Okay. And are you doing like some side events, or just you have you miners booths there?
Just a booth for now.
Okay.
Maybe there are some side events. So best if you follow our Twitter for any announcements if we're going to have any special side events.
Okay, great. Philip, I would love to hear what directions you're planning to take next. What are the future goals, and how do you view the current state and future of crypto mining in 2025, especially, like with so many unpredictable factors right now, like geopolitical conflicts, economic shift, and rising energy costs? Can you tell us,
Mhm.
what are you going to, what's your plans?
So future goals for the company. We want to expand in many different aspects. One of the biggest goals is expanding our hosting options. So by the end of this year, I believe we're going to have somewhere over 175 megawatts available in capacity. We want to expand that to 700 megawatts and above, surpassing eventually 1 gigawatt as soon as possible. That's really our near-term goals. We will be also offering the cloud mining solutions soon as well. So this function is going to be very interesting. We're going to have two aspects: a corporate sort of interface, and one more for the average person, which we'll release more information about in the coming weeks and months. Uh, and the end of the question. So unpredictable factors like geopolitical conflicts, economic shifts.
Yeah.
Uh,
How do you view like the current state and the future of crypto mining in 2025?
the current state, I think it's very good in terms of Bitcoin price. We did get a pump in the last couple of weeks. Politically wise, I think it's very good as well. So having specific political figures in the U.S. In office, it's very positive to the industry. Uh, I think all things considered, it's a really good time to mine right now, definitely.
Okay, and then maybe like have one last question before we jump into our audience questions. So you mentioned to me earlier on that you recently opened a new headquarter in Abu Dhabi, right? Do you guys like have
Yeah.
any plans to expand to other regions?
So right now we're in Abu Dhabi, China, Hong Kong.
Mhm.
And we also have some expansion in the United States too. Part Also included in Abu Dhabi is Ethiopia. So Abu Dhabi office will be managing the Ethiopia data center. But yeah, other than that, the U.S. expansion, that's one aspect. But from that, possibly some Europe expansion, and maybe some other countries if it comes to hosting. But primarily, we're targeting the MENA region, so Abu Dhabi, UAE, and then Africa as well.
Okay, great. So we're just gonna dive. We're just gonna try to answer quickly to some questions. I know you're gonna run to Dubai right after the live. I have a question here. Someone is asking which mining equipment do you offer?
Yeah. So the latest mining equipment is all available on our website that we offer. I wouldn't be able to say off the top of my head. So there's a list, and if you contact us through Telegram specifically, we can provide the latest price list with it too. But we have all the newest machines, and we have back order for the machines that haven't even been released yet, that many people don't know about.
Okay, great. Another question that I have here. Um, can I track mining performance remotely?
Yes, so we do have the interface for tracking your miner performance, and it's a solution many of our clients really like. So yeah, you can.
Okay. And I have a last one for you. What are your hosting or electricity fees? Do you know?
In Ethiopia, the hosting fee is 5.5 cents USD. Uh, it, it is a variable fee as well. So as the Bitcoin price changes, it can be cheaper than that, and it can be higher than that, dependent. But the price we advertise is set as 5.5 cents USD, uh, and that includes the full service. Apart from if a miner goes broken with one of the chips, that's an additional cost. So if we need to send out the miner to get a repair, there are service centers in Ethiopia as well.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. That was like my last question, and I know you mentioned it earlier, but for our audience who are one nerds there, can you please tell us how our audience can keep up with updates on Uminers, and like if they're very interesting, like how can they contact your team or yourself? Can you remind us?
Yeah, so the primary way to stay updated with everything Uminers would probably be our Twitter account. We're posting there very actively. If you want to get in touch with me, it would be partnership@uminers.com. And with the rest of the team, if you want to get in touch with sales, it would be sales@uminers.com. And there is also a phone number on our website too. So many different ways to get in touch with us. Even commenting on some of our Twitter posts, we see everything. So yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Philip. I really appreciate you joining us today and sharing your insight about Uminers and all the latest update about Bitcoin mining. We would love to have you back on the show in the future. And thank you to all of our listeners for being here with us. We truly appreciate your time and attention. And I see you next time for another Cointelegraph shows. You can always join us on X, YouTube, Instagram, Telegram, our website, and podcast. You can just type Cointelegraph. Thank you.
Thank you.